Judy, Rob, last year more than 600 postal workers were robbed across the country. Nearly 6 of those cases happened right here in Chicago, as detailed in records obtained by ABC7. Those numbers mark our postal workers as some of the most endangered in the entire country. Walking on the verge of a sprint, even through rain, this United States Postal Service letter carrier never stops moving. Her body is in constant overdrive.
You fear every day that you're coming out here that that person see you delivering their mail and might try to just shoot you, and you don't know.
That's what trauma will do, and it's why we agreed not to show her face and not to use her name when we followed along her far south side mail route. January 5th, 2023, this veteran letter carrier says a man held a gun to her head as she made deliveries in Chicago's Roseland neighborhood. What does he want from you?
The keys.
Letter carriers say the keys, known as arrow keys to so-called cluster boxes in complexes and buildings, have made them desirable moving targets.
Is that arrow key worth your life?
No, it's not. They can have it. I have to go home to my kids and my family.
Did you give it up?
Yes, I did. Without a doubt.
It keeps getting worse. According to data obtained from the United States Postal Inspection Service, Chicago postal workers faced nearly double the number of robberies than the year before. In 2018, USPIS recorded just 2 postal employee robberies in Chicago. By 2022, 32 postal employees were robbed on their Chicago routes, and 2023 was far worse. 57 Chicago postal workers were robbed, many at gunpoint.
We have no protection out there on the streets.
As the local union president representing letter carriers, Elise Foster's phone is constantly pinging with personal alerts like this from her members under attack.
We need funding. We need more prosecution. We need more police patrols on the streets and the communities.
In the last few years, U.S. Postal Police have shifted to patrolling postal facilities, not mail routes. If a letter carrier is robbed or attacked, postal inspectors investigate these crimes, but it can be a tedious process, and inspectors rely heavily on the public's help. In one case last November, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service released these surveillance images of a man they say robbed a postal employee of an arrow key at gunpoint and offered a handsome reward for up to $150,000 for information. Earlier this month, authorities announced the man, Richard Thompson, had been arrested and charged for the attack. He's pleaded not guilty. Court records show Thompson was out on pretrial release for a prior Cook County charge after he was caught with a stolen mailbox key last May. That is just one case in a thick file that Chicago-based postal inspectors like Spencer Block are working to solve.
We have many suspects that we've arrested that we believe to be involved in a number of these robberies of letter carriers. So even though they may only be prosecuted for one or arrested and charged for one, it's actually, seeking justice for sometimes, multiple carrier robberies.
The Postal Service has promised to replace those criminally coveted arrow keys with a digital option, though they won't say where and by when. The letter carrier we spoke with isn't waiting to find out.
It's too dangerous. It's not worth my life. I already had a gun to me once. I'm not going to do it twice.
Well, you may have seen billboards like these across the Chicago area for a program called Project Safe Delivery. The Postal Inspection Service launched the initiative a year ago this month in direct response to the spike in robberies. It includes increasing rewards for information. And as the postal inspector we spoke to said, money talks. Letter carrier robberies so far this year, he says, are down and the number of arrests are up. Rob.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.